In this video, we're going to take a look at writing functions in C#. I have started up Visual Studio, and I'm on the opening screen here, and what we're going to do is we are going to create a new project, but it's not going to be MonoGame. It's going to be a console app, and we need to give this a name, something more descriptive than Console App 1. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to get rid of the first three lines here. I want to keep that last one because otherwise the screen will close, a fraction of a second after it opens, and I want to get rid of this here too. Okay, so now we've got a blank screen here, and this is a review of some stuff we did earlier in the semester, but it's been a little while and we haven't done a whole lot of stuff with functions really, and functions are a very important part of programming. So we are going to write a function, and this whole thing is one class from here down to here, okay? And within the class, we can have as many functions as we want to. And we're going to write a function called display greeting. And there's one difference between writing these console functions and writing functions in a MonoGame program. And that is, function name has to be preceded by the word static. And we're not going to worry about why for right now. We're just going to do it. So this function does not return anything. And we're going to call it display greeting. It does not accept any arguments, so nothing in between the parentheses. And the only thing it's going to do is we're going to go to the console, and we do a write line, and we're going to print out hello. And we need a semicolon on the end of that. Okay? So let's go ahead and, well, if I don't call it, nothing's going to happen. So let's call display greeting. Pair of parentheses and a semicolon. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, just get rid of some of the extra blank lines here that we really don't need. And let's go ahead and run it. It should display the word hello with an exclamation mark on the screen in a black and white console window. And it should wait for me to press a key. Apparently I missed the click the first time. And there's the word hello, and it will just stay on the screen until I hit enter, which I'm doing now. And now we're back in the editor. Okay, so a function that doesn't return anything, this is about as simple as it gets. It doesn't return anything, we don't have to pass anything to it, it just does something. And what it does is it writes out a message. Okay, we are going to write a few more functions here. We've been using functions all along. Every single one of the parts of our MonoGame program are functions. We've got an initialize function, we've got a load content function, we've got an unload content function, we've got an update function, and a draw function. And so we've been using functions, but we haven't really written very many of our own, and we haven't really had to write calls to very many functions because those functions are all called automatically by the MonoGame system. We don't have to explicitly do that. Okay. So let's try another program here, another function here. So we're going to do a simple one. I'll just keep building on the top of the functions list here. And we're going to have this, we're going to call this times 2. It's going to accept an integer, and it's going to return that integer multiplied by 2. So it starts with the word static. And this time it is returning something. It's returning an int. And we're going to call it times 2. Can't call it double because double is a reserved word. And we're going to pass in an int, and it's really hard to come up with a descriptive name for a generic argument like this, so we're just going to call it n. We're still getting the red wavy underline, and the reason for that is because we declared this to be an int, and there is no return of an int in the body of the function, but we'll fix that right now. So now it's going to return 2 times whatever number was passed in, and if I go up here and I do a console And I am going to, we'll put a label on it here, 2 times 10 is, and then we're going to print out times 2, 10, and a semicolon on the end. So let's go ahead and run it. We should get 20 for our output in addition to the hello that's up there. So let's go ahead and run it. And 2 times 10, we are not getting what I thought we were going to get. Let's see if... Let's see if that works instead. Let's go ahead and run it now. Okay. Okay, so what did I do wrong the first time? The first time what I did wrong was I put a comma there instead of a plus sign. And what I was doing was writing Java code, not C#. The write line statement to C# requires that you pass in one string. I didn't get an error with the other version because it does allow you to pass in 2 arguments, but we're not going to talk about the second argument at this time because we're just not going to get into it. So if I put a plus sign in here, that means I am taking this string and I'm going to concatenate this. This is an int, not a string, but C# is nice enough in this case to convert it into a string and then print it out. So what I need to remember from now on is that when I do a write line in C#, I have to put a plus sign in there. It only will allow me to write out one string. So if I want to do a bunch of things, I have to tack them all together with the concatenation operator. And we're going to try and keep these videos short. So this is the end of our first video.